Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Be Your Own Boss. Whether it's a corporate, an SME, or rich, the ultra rich, or a common man like me, we all somewhere deep down have this desire to make a meaningful contribution to the society, right? Now, what we donate for or which cause and how, that is, believe it or not, it is a big question. Now, can technology solve that? In this episode today, we're going to learn about philanthropy, we're going to learn about entrepreneurship, technology, all of that. And joining us all the way from California, Bay Area, is Kamala Srinivasan, the founder of Upahara. Let her introduce what Upahara is. We will hear from her about what the company is, what it does. By the way, for the first time in almost 100 episodes, I'm interviewing a family member. Kamala is my cousin, my first cousin. So you will see me calling her Akka and not by her name. So let's welcome Kamala Srinivasan, the founder of Upahara. Akka, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Be Your Own Boss podcast.
Thank you, Sachin. Pleasure to be here.
It's such an honor for me to interview you, and I'm super excited.
Likewise.
So, Akka, like we always do in on the Be Your Own Boss podcast, of course,
Mhm.
I know the background, but then for the audience, if you could just
Sure.
tell us about your parents, your siblings, where were you
hmm
born, and
hmm
your childhood memories.
Sure. Happy to share. So, born and brought up in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. So, I grew up with two elder siblings who were already working when I was in high school. So, my brother was working at a college computer science department at that time. So, our home would be filled with computer enthusiasts and professors from the college talking about current tech trends. That's how my early good childhood memories were, right? So I used to visit that computer room at the college where my brother was working. So all these experiences, right, that created an everlasting impact on me and drove me to the arms of the technology industry at the earliest years.
Wow. So technology was like right from the beginning in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. And then, that led me to working in the technology industries. And I have been working for the past 25 plus years in the technology industries and with nonprofits as well. So it gives
Hmm.
me immense joy to connect people and technology and how to sculpt the process to address social challenges. It's like I'm paying gratitude I get from the technology forward to the others, right? As you rightly mentioned in the beginning of your introduction. So
Yeah.
that's why I founded Upahara. So as you know, the Sanskrit meaning for Upahara means offering, gift. So, that's why I went to our origin, our roots to name my company. And as
Okay.
Upahara CEO, I set out goals towards building bridge between donors and charitable organization using a robust philanthropic tech platform. I wanted to help people make a meaningful impact on the causes that matters most to their hearts.
Hmm.
So that's a quick
Yeah.
intro.
Good. So tell us more about that. The inspiration behind Opera, because you were working in the IT industry in
Mhm.
leadership positions, right? So you were at that.
Yes.
Yeah. So from there, the journey to start Upahara, what inspired you to start it?
Yes. So I have experienced the gap between charitable organization and donors firsthand during the time I spent as a managing director and board member for nonprofits and also at the corporate world. Now, at the corporate world, I was responsible to give money to the corporate social responsibility related causes. That time I found it difficult to find the organization which meets our values. It was a time consuming task. And it's not just a problem from the donor side of the equation. Nonprofits also have trouble reaching out to donors who would support them. And then during my fintech career, I witnessed how numerous digital fintech products have transformed virtually every dimension of money management, right? Why can't we just apply the same tools for philanthropic giving and management? If you can take
Mm.
a look at your phone currently, all of you, right? You have an app to manage your everyday banking, app to transfer money to friends and families, an app for your investment banking, everything. What kind of app do you have for your philanthropic giving? Right? Who is assisting you with finding the right organization which meet your values as well as provide the confidence that the money is reaching the right people? That's what Upahara wants to do. It's designed
Oh,
to power philanthropy by a personalized, curated, and philanthropic domain specific LLM platform. I know I'm throwing in a lot of words. That's how techie talks here in California. So, a
yeah.
sort of chat GPT for your philanthropic needs. The
Chat
platform show.
GPT. Yeah.
Yeah, like I consider this as it's a chat GPT. You can do anything, but it's very domain, philanthropic domain specific. So yeah,
Hmm.
chat GPT for your philanthropic needs only. That is my vision that I would like to do.
Wow.
The platform showcases nonprofits based on various metrics using data of their functioning over time. This data visualization would guide donors towards understanding the financial and functional health of the program or organization and access specific information relating to their needs or interests.
Mm. Okay. So basically, you're using AI, and you mentioned also LLM. So AI, people understand. People know ChatGPT. ChatGPT is quite popular. For those who don't know what LLM is, can you just quickly explain what that term means?
It means large language model. So let's leave it like that because I may need another course or I have to conduct extra detailed thing. But let's just leave it like that. It's kind of training. It's just like you train in certain way so that when you answer questions, when you ask questions, it would answer. We would like to include all this in the future. Some of
Got it.
these
Got it.
ideas. Yes. Yeah.
Got it. So talking about Upahara from a business perspective, like how is the setup? Like, what's the business model of Upahara?
Currently, we are focusing on United States based customer base.
Okay.
If you see the IRS, we call it Internal Revenue Services, there are 2 million nonprofits registered with IRS currently. So imagine you are a high net worth individual, you are a busy person, and then you wanted to donate in this big ocean of 2 million. How do you spend time looking at it, right? It is like you go to any online platform, you do a search, and after 30 minutes you get more confused, right, what you came here for. So it would be in that kind of a situation. Upahara really wanted to take that pain away from the donors. So we would be looking at high net worth individuals, and also there are people who have their foundations and family offices. These are all our business to customer base. And also we have a B2B component as well, which would be the financial institution which manages their high net worth individuals. And
Hmm.
also here in US, there is a concept called a donor advised fund. Let's just say you are a startup founder, you sold your company, so this year, so you had a lot of profit, you have money, right? So you want to do a tax saving this year, so you can just go ahead and park like 300,000 in this financial institution. The minute you park there, you get your tax credit this year itself. See, you haven't even paid that money to nonprofits yet, right? You have time to do, but however, this year you got the tax credit. That is what this donor advised fund. And from that, they have to only give the money to nonprofits. So they
Hmm.
can do that in a relaxed way. So we would help them out in that way so that ours can be white labeled product to the financial institution so that they can guide their high net worth individuals on where to give the money to. So these are all the
Hmm.
two customer segments. Of course, there will be retail customer as well. That's in the future.
Okay, okay. So even retails, but then the institutions, high net worth individuals who want to donate, they benefit from being able to choose the right kind of
Yes.
institution to donate to, rather
Yeah.
than going through all that 2 million.
Yes. Also, yes,
Uh,
and also, some people may know, let's say, somebody who's raised by a woman, he lost his father at the young age, raised by the woman, so he wanted to appreciate the mother, so it can be woman empowerment. It's all close to people's
mm,
heart, right? Align with their values. Or some people, they may not know they wanted to contribute, so we also help them to identify their values so that they can align to closest to their cause. By looking at it, they may say, okay, like, yes, I want to do something to do with animals because I love animals. They may try to
yeah,
figure out the values in that process so that it aligns with their values.
yeah, there are so many areas in that, right? And
Yes.
also, if you look at the other side of the spectrum, there is the non-profits. You said there are over 2 million non-profits in the US
Yes.
alone.
Yes.
I mean, how does a non-profit then stand out? What's there? What kind of challenges do they face?
Oh, yes, there are quite a lot. So, as you can see in my career, also, right, I took a break from my corporate life and worked for the nonprofit. So I know the pain points on that side as well. The runway is always shorter. So, for them to run their
Mm,
operations, there are numerous challenges that they face. So, historically, if you can see any donor base, when they want to donate to any organization, they focused on the overhead on the nonprofits, overhead on how they are spent, how much money they spend on their payroll and other things. Let's see, if the people are working for a nonprofit, they have to get paid, right? And then if
yeah.
somebody here in California, it's very expensive to live here. So let's say the objective of the nonprofit is to eradicate poverty. And if you don't pay your employees' salary properly, then their family is going to be in poverty, right? So that's the case.
Yeah.
So they have to take care of their employees well, standardized way, paying them. But some donors focus on overhead and then ignore those nonprofits. And then there are numerous problems. I'm going to list down one after the other. And then
Hmm.
in some other online platform, what they do is they try to do some kind of a rating a mechanism, star rating, 5 star, 4 star, based on the algorithm they come up with. But that does do more harm to nonprofits than helping them, because you do
Oh.
not know exactly what those nonprofits are doing, right? So let's say
Mm,
if they haven't uploaded certain information that year, since the data is missing, their rating may come down. However, their actual impact is still happening, right? So the rating
mm,
mechanism also doesn't help nonprofits. Recently, a couple of weeks back, I was interviewing this healthcare based nonprofit, and they're doing excellent work. They replicate that basic. They have a model where they'll share it with across the globe so that the healthcare emergency workers can follow and save lives. That model is really wonderful and making great impact. So there is this
mm.
donor who came in, and then he was so impressed with their model, but he also very much interested in climate related projects. So he was asking this
Sorry,
person,
what related projects?
climate, energy,
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
climate related
Yeah,
area that he wanted to donate. And then he
yeah.
was asking this healthcare nonprofit leadership team that, I would like to replicate the same for my climate. Can you please do that same one, replicate, and then do that for me, and then I will do the donation. But climate is not their forte. They are doing it
Mm,
for healthcare. You can't ask the healthcare person to do the climate. It's not that they are against it, right?
yeah.
They are already understaffed. So people put this restricted funding, and then they try to do some of their pet project or something, but that doesn't work. That also doesn't
Yeah.
help the nonprofits, right? And
Mm,
then there are these vetting. I appreciate this vetting, because some of the countries, when companies are nonprofits are running, you need to have those vetting project to make sure whether they are doing well. However, when they have to do the field trip, and then somebody will be outside the country. It takes a lot of time for them, right? So they may
mm,
not be able to vet all the nonprofits. Let's say there are
mm,
500 nonprofits in Africa, they may just highlight only 50, because that's all they can vet, right? In fact,
mm,
they also highlighted in their website, it's impossible for us to go and vet all the nonprofits. Whatever we can do, we are doing it. So it's not exclusive. We are excluding a lot of other nonprofits who are doing a lot of impact work, right? In some cases, if there are 500 nonprofits, they may just include only 5. So
mm,
we are excluding quite a lot of nonprofits in that who are doing amazing work. See, the other one is it's currently, I'm a board member at a nonprofit as a Pollinate Group. We have a model where it's a nonprofit, but have a model of working like a for-profit. So we have a more of revenue generation model. So basically, Pollinate Group, what we are doing is we are equip and uplift women in marginalized communities in India and Nepal by teaching them entrepreneurship and invest in zero cost inventory, solar tools, solar equipment to sell these products to the communities that live off the grid. They don't have electricity or anything. This is what we are trying to do. And then we also run fellowship program that are revenue stream to cover 15% of our operations. We are
Mm.
dependent on donation to run our other operations, run our operations, right? But when we go for donation, right, we are dependent on donation to run our operation. So when we go for donations, there's one foundation, they turned away their grant saying that you are already getting money from your fellowship program. So instead of getting appreciated, we are getting punished. So
Yeah.
these are all few areas where nonprofits face challenges. The one thing that I like a lot is currently the trend is going towards something called a trust-based philanthropy. You might have even noticed Scott McKinsey, when she was giving her donation, she would pretty much follow these kind of principles. So
Hmm.
it's based on, in fact, I also faced when I was working for a nonprofit, some of the individual, they would send a donation to us. In the note column, they say that, how do you know about it? They would mention my name. So when I go and talk to them, thanking them, and they would tell me that, hey, Kamala, yes, I know you because I trust you doing the right thing. You are in a leadership role in this nonprofit. I trust you doing the right thing. So I would write the check. So this is more like that, trusting the leadership team, people who are working, and then also creating some kind of relationship, and then, working with them, collaborating with them. So these are all the way, some of the trust based philanthropy itself is a term. You can even look it up. There is a website with all
Okay.
their values listed down. So these are all thing, various ways. As you can see, a lot of nonprofits were left out in each and every process. If it is a 2
Mm.
million, not all the 2 millions can be included, and then in that 2 million which are not meeting any of these criteria, they are left out. And then the
Yeah.
left out ones are making greatest impact, which we are not knowing, we are not able to know about it. And then
Mm.
their runway of running the operation is really short, right? So that is why Upahara is an inclusive platform. It has a
Mm.
non-profit of all sizes, and we also back with analytics as much as possible that we have the information. And then we have creating an easy to navigate platform for our customers. While we focus on serving customer, the result will create a huge impact on the nonprofits who have been finding it challenging to fundraise. So
Mm.
it solves the problem on both sides.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a huge issue on one side because it's an ocean of nonprofits. First of all, as an individual, as a layman, I had no clue that there are so many nonprofits out there,
Mm-hmm.
making an impact. And also, looks like Upahara is trying to connect both ends very well because solving problems on both sides. But if you think about philanthropy and if you think about like wanting to help, right? There are these sudden like natural disasters and calamities when happen. Like let's say there is an earthquake in Nepal, and let's say I want to donate that. Usually, as an individual, for me, the first question is like, is my money going to reach the right place or not? So
Yes, yes, yes.
does Upahara somehow play a role in that, like natural calamities, disasters, and all?
Yes, we will surely emphasize this both on, we will surely emphasize, right? These are all the natural calamities. If there is that's happening currently, we will highlight that. And
Hmm.
also, we would also prepare the donors. So, what we will do is we will budget planning. And just like the way you do the budget planning, we can also we also help them with the donation budget planning. So, we would help them with, reactive, proactive, reactive, and then emergency. So the proactive ones are the one that align to your values, what you wanted to give. And then there are some reactive ones here and there. Friends and family, they may say that, oh, this nonprofit, they want something, would you like to give some money, right? So if you can allocate some money, and always a emergency, because there are some emergencies always happening. Now, how you would give? So when you have this budget planning ready, you are also feel good about giving it to them. Okay, I had allocated this, I'm going to give this money. So
Right.
yes, we would be definitely doing that.
Got it, got it, got it. And I mean, like you said, the kind of problems that nonprofits have, the kind of challenges that the donors have, all this is kind of they meet at Upahara here, let's say. Okay,
Mhm.
help us understand, how does technology solve this?
Yes, I have been techie for the past 25 plus years. And even before that, I have been hearing technology for a really, really long time, right? With the elder siblings at home. So I'm really most passionate about driving real and sustainable change using technology. So, as I mentioned earlier, the all the basic technologies that we have, with the data analytics to slice and dice and cleaning up the our technology can help a lot. So, with the current AI, it speed up the process. So some of the challenges that we face, or some of the work that we have to take longer time to do, and AI can do it in a nicer way. So,
Mm.
in a ethical way, if you can use AI properly, that can help us a lot. So, currently, I'm interviewing some of those AI-related vendors to trying to see, how we can incorporate. Because I'm currently building an MVP, minimum viable product. In that,
Mm.
what is the minimum way I can include? So, I'm working towards that. And technology always evolves, right? So, any emerging technology, you have to be up to date with that. Learning on everyday
Yeah.
basis, and then we'll continue to incorporate those as well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's evolving at like breakneck speed. The way it is, new things are coming up. Just I think
Yes,
just a few years ago, like nobody knew about Chat GPT or anything, and now like
yes,
everything is AI driven. There's so much of
yes.
advancement here. Now, so you said that you're building the MVP here. So in the process of your startup, where are you exactly? Like, are you have you already hired people, or can you talk us through that, like the hiring, or if you've hired people, the hiring process and everything?
I'm a solopreneur. So
Solopreneur.
yeah, the day starts with the founder and CEO to coding something, debugging something. I do multiple hats. So since we are at the early stage, we are not ready for team building yet. Working at an early stage startup provides a lot of learning opportunities and growth compared to established organizations. So I would highly recommend this to those who are in their early career stage. Working with the founders who are passionate about their work, they get so motivated by working with them, right? So who knows, they may catch a startup bug and build something on their own as well, right? Because we need
Yeah.
more and more of entrepreneurs solving problems out there. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, think of it this way, like, it is better to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in an ocean. Working in a startup it's a different kind of environment, culture there.
Yes, that's
Great,
right.
great, great. Yeah. Uh, Now, as an individual, if I want to give, I want to make sure that my money reaches the right place, right? As high net worth individuals, as corporates, also, this must be their biggest concern, right? That they want that transparency.
Yes.
How does Upahara help in that?
Yes, I agree. So, Upahara provides various analytical data which gives a detailed view about nonprofits, right? And then nonprofits are also trying very hard to showcase their impact via impact reports, etc. However, nonprofits are always understaffed and may not have the proper resource to collect their impact metrics and properly generate a report on a regular basis. Some would do output based impact metrics. Let's just say they say that we have distributed this 100 tablet, the phone and tablet to this underrepresented community, to the girl student. Okay, so 100 they have distributed in this. That's a good one, right? But it's
Hmm.
not. What if they, in order for to use that electronic device, that girl needs to have a high net worth, or not a high net worth, sorry, the high broadband connection at her
Yeah,
home.
Yeah.
If she
Or
doesn't
what if
have
there
the
is no electricity, like the basic electric?
to
Yeah.
charge it, right? So if she
Yeah.
doesn't have any of those, it's not useful to her, number one. And then
Yeah.
number two, what if the other people in their household, father or a elder brother, take away and start using it for their own purposes? So
Yeah.
giving that 100 doesn't make any sense at all, that output based metrics. So but instead, if they say we have distributed this tablets, and then this girl was able to learn some of the mathematical skills, and then her score improved, she got applied for this entrance exam, got selected, or a first one to graduate high school, how those, it's a whole outcome changes. But even to generate these metrics, nonprofits are struggling due to their staffing challenges, right?
Mm.
So these are all the some of the challenges we are facing. Some donors also want to help, instead of just writing the check saying that this is the donation. Some wanted to contribute and their skill sets. They may be a financial person or a technology person. That's what I do. I'm a board member in a nonprofit. I do a variety of hat. It's a volunteer position, and then we do support all these, right? So in our, again, the transparency wise, right? In order for the donor to support, they want to know where exactly the nonprofits require support. So the nonprofits have to be transparent about that also, right? So these are all the
Mm.
one would definitely boost the nonprofit, and then we can work together and grow, make more impacts.
Yeah. So let's talk more about the impact part here. I mean, now that you mentioned, right, the looks like this impacts the society at large. This impacts the economy at large. There is this, socioeconomic impact there. Can you tell us more about that?
It's amazing, like not just for Upahara, even
Mm.
before, right? When they delivered my kids here, they both were born in a hospital which is a non-profit.
Oh, okay.
So you would see amazing. And here you go out to the national parks, zoo, they are non-profits. People don't even know that the everyday enjoyment or the help that they get from a non-profit. So it's
Mm.
a huge. That's a case here in US and then in other places as well, right? So you would see a lot of, and then you go to museum, they
Mm.
are non-profits. And then some kids go and attend a preschool or a grad school, or some of the colleges, universities here, they are non-profits. So I can go
Mm.
on. So imagine how it touches your life in every part, right?
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
the summer, it's a summer here in California, and then the kids go for swimming. The swimming
Yeah.
schools, non-profit. So imagine
Mm.
that, right? They
Yeah.
touch every part of your life. Nonprofits are making huge impact for the society. I
Mm.
can go
So
on. The list can go on.
yeah, there is a term non-profit, and then there is this other term NGO, right? So what's the
Yes.
I mean, I don't know the difference, so please explain.
It's all country wise, the English term, right? So here in United States, in other parts, we call it non-profits. And then I think in India, we call them NGO. It's our non-government organizations. But the
Okay.
underlying meaning is the same, right? They all work for a cause, tax exempt organization. They are not a for profit. So each and every country will have its separate tax and then guidelines for them to follow. But so NGO, non-profits, all are same.
Ah, okay, okay, got it, got it.
Yes.
Now with Upahara, what's like right now you're building the MVP. What's the vision? What are you looking at in future?
Yes, yeah, the MVP is going on in a few couple of weeks or more, or in a month time frame. We should be able to onboard initial customer base, so that I would like to test it with the customers and get their input, continuously improve further on it. Also, the future vision, once this underlying model is done, and we would like to replicate model in other countries as well. That's a future vision. And we will be, again, as I tell, we'll be using as much as technology as possible, emerging technology in the future as we are building out. So we are currently looking for investment, collaboration and partnership, and customer onboarding.
Got it, got it, got it. And
Yes.
how long has this journey been? Since when did you start?
Company was incorporated a couple of years back, but I have
Okay,
been fully involved in building this past 1 year.
one year.
The research
Right.
and development
So
has been
yeah,
started, past 1 year,
yeah.
yes.
So one full year of work goes into building MVP. And by the way, I mean you did mention MVP is minimum viable product. So just let me quickly explain to the to the audience. MVP is minimum viable product is basically when you develop something before you go out and launch it full fledged to all your users and customers. You do kind of you just bring it to the customers to a set just a few customers so that they can test it, use it, see, and then you can go back and improvise on it as required. So that's minimum viable product. You have to get it out
Yes,
to the in the hands of the customers. So
that's
just to get MVP right now, it's been a year, and then you grow it, you develop it, launch it full fledged. That's
yes.
a long journey, right? It's
It does. It does. So, I was very keen on interviewing potential customers from the beginning.
Mhm.
Customers from both from the nonprofit side and then also from the donors side, the customer, the high net worth individuals. So I have conducted irregular interviews, and as we were building from the each process, I would showcase it to them. This is what I'm doing. What do you think? Is there anything missing? How can we? So I have been incorporating their inputs as I'm building along. Now it's going to bigger base, right? So the MVP is not MVP until like really 50 to 100 customer tested and then made a lot of complaints. I like compliance, right? So I would like to know what is not working. Tell me, I'll fix it first. That's more important. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, when you look back at this journey, right? I mean, as a leader, there are a lot of leaders that I've seen. The one number one trait in them is reading. So I want to ask you that, like, do you read a lot? What some, do you have some book recommendations?
I read a lot. So you haven't visited our home, you should visit soon. You would see the bookshelves and books everywhere. So I do read quite a lot. However, there's one book that's really close to my heart, which I keep also next to me, the pocket size one that I carry along. That's Bhagavad Gita.
Mhm.
So Bhagavad Gita, you can read, there are a lot of options available, from various commentary by multiple authors and various languages too, Sanskrit, English, any language you choose. Gita gives us strength and solace when I tread through the entrepreneurial challenges and help me to reflect. The Bhagavad Gita's emphasis on selfless service is something that inspires me to do good for humanity. Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, pocket says Bhagavad Gita that I took it from our ancestral home, stays with me all
Okay.
the time. Yes, that's another
Wow.
story that I'll share later.
Yeah. So can I ask you what's your like the one shlok from Bhagavad Gita that's like closest to your heart?
Krishna advises Arjuna that, just focus on the work, not on the results. So it's focus on what you are doing.
That's my even on my WhatsApp status, I have that as karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, which is
You got it.
your
Yes,
yeah. That's
that's
and
right.
it's like it's karm is only your adhikar is only the karm, right? That's all you have the right for. Your right is to on the karm and then don't so perfectly fits in the world of philanthropy and in the the kind of work that you're doing.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I took effort to properly pronounce Sanskrit. So I took a class on Bhagavad Gita. So I
Oh,
just finished last month, all 18
oh.
chapters. Yes.
Wow, wow. How do you
Yes.
get time to do all of this? You're a mom.
Yeah, it will come, believe me. When you really wanted to do something, if you have the conviction and clarity, things will come into
Yeah,
place.
yeah. True. So, Akka, as we come, come to a conclusion here, like, as we wrap up here, any final message that you want to give to to the audience, people who would like to, connect with you for either becoming a part of your organization or to donate or as non-profits to come. What are your messages for them?
Messages, if there are aspiring entrepreneurs out there, we want more and more entrepreneurs in this world. So just believe, believe in, if you want to be entrepreneurs, go for it, please, and then I am available in LinkedIn. You can connect with me via LinkedIn, is the best way to connect with me. And I would love to talk to people and connect with people. So whether to just to connect, or understand more about Upahara, or wanted to collaborate, LinkedIn is the right way for me.
Perfect, perfect. We'll include the link to your LinkedIn profile in the show
Sure.
notes and in the description for YouTube. So
Sounds
check it out, connect with her. And Akka, one last question as we wrap up here. How
good.
was your experience being on the Beer Own Boss podcast?
Oh, it's awesome. I have been beaming past 1 week, telling my, I'm going to be in Sachin's podcast. Being in a podcast is
Uh,
one thing, and being my Thambi's podcast is totally different things. I know it's
I'm
awesome.
so
Keep up the good work, please. Spread the
Thank you so
word.
much. Thank
Yes.
you, and let your blessings always be be on us, and be let me. And this is all I'm trying to do. I'm like how you're trying to connect the donors with the nonprofits. For me, it's about connecting the entrepreneurs with the aspiring entrepreneurs and the world. So like I'm just trying
Yes.
to bridge that gap here. So,
Awesome.
Akka, thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your journey and sharing the
Hmm.
details about Upahara with us. It was such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was Kamala Srinivasan, my Akka, the founder of Upahara, and you've been watching and listening to Be Your Own Boss.